Denise, are you recording for me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, but you don't load them. Okay, got it. Okay, I will leave it to your capable hands. Okay, so today, I don't want to repeat what I've said on the previous session when I was doing strategy. I want to have an understanding of where you are on it, and we work together. But the main purpose of developing a strategy is to actually have a clarity on what you need to do and how you're gonna do it. So it's both the strategy, which is what exactly you're gonna do, and then the how you're gonna do it is really about the tactics. But obviously, people interchangeably, they use this as though they are similar. Doesn't really matter. It's almost like, do we start with the vision or we start with the mission? Okay, so I'm gonna just start by saying that the reason why most of the time we struggle with getting our head right in focusing on one thing, we don't take enough time identifying what exactly is missing in the industry. You could have the best tactics in the world in marketing, have a right best communication, have a best even digital marketing, and have all the glitz and the glam. But if you're pitching something that is not right for that market, if you're also pitching a product that is not ready for that specific market or segment, you could actually just flop. There are so many reasons why businesses fail, but one of the biggest challenge that we face, especially within the South African context, is that we don't have access to market. Access to market is number one. We can't scale. But when you start analyzing and figuring out within each industry, you realize the reason why we don't have access to market is because we're doing exactly what the big businesses have been doing. So what I want to say to you, designing a strategy for a crappy product that the market does not need, it doesn't matter what intervention a consultant will give you to say, here are the ideas, here are the ideas. If your product, it does not fit the market, or you come into the market with a product that is well developed with people that have been existing for years, you are not being innovative on how you deliver that product, then you don't have a competitive edge. Then you shouldn't even be thinking about doing that business. So what do I mean exactly? What I am saying is we need to make sure we have the right product for the right market. I think you do remember the last discussion, the other discussion that we had. I think it was the very first discussion when we were talking about business, why we struggle in certain things. And I said to you, look at the newspaper, look at the headlines as you're driving from one area to another of the very same newspaper, but with different headlines. Excuse me. These headlines are customized for that segment of the market. The reason why they are different from one suburb to another is because each segment, each market is actually catering for that, the need of that who stays in that location. So sometimes as entrepreneurs, we're placing the right product, but in the wrong place. But in other instances, the product itself is not well developed to compete with the product that already exists in the market, the alternative. You could be coming out something with a new, but what you're coming up with new, it's actually, it's substandard, or it does not match up with the alternative. And the price also might actually be a problem. So most entrepreneurs, they don't find the market. They have a product, well-developed product, and then they say, hey, these big businesses are eating us, are really crushing us because of price. The reason why you are competing on the price is because you don't have a competitive advantage. You do not have even economies of scale in that. So you could actually have innovated, but you have not innovated enough to really distinguish yourself from the market. So I want you, as we are getting into this process of choosing the path on how you're gonna go and grow in the business, please double check. Do I have the right product? Do I have a right price? Do I have the right location? Do I have the right plan, even on how do I think this market will actually play out? But in addition to that, you also need to really think very hard about your customer. And I've spoken about this when we spoke about customer profile. Some of you, I will say to you, you're gonna need to go back to your company, to your profile. And I also need you to double check the other issue that I need you to double check. Do I have the right packaging of this product? Some of us, we are packaging a product that doesn't belong in the market where you are positioning it. So I've seen people launching a product as a high end, but they also have positioned it as a township product. That is very tricky. You have to know within the township, which one fits the upper hand, which area fits the upper market, because not all township can actually have an uptake depending on which area you're actually launching the packaging or that product in that location. So it has to mix. It's just not about looking at one specific thing. It's about looking at the whole picture. And then obviously from that, you will also ask yourself, the individuals that I have that are helping me to build these marketing activities, based on, do they create enough rapport and relationships which will allow me to have a feedback? But also your processes in making sure that your whole business model work. And some of you have indicated that you are struggling with the business model. I think this is the platform also that will allow you to actually refine your business model. So that is what we're going to be doing today. And I'm so grateful you have made time to be here. I see people are pushing. Thank you so much for being here. We will then start. So why do you actually even begin to actually think about having a strategy? Really, it's about, you have to differentiate yourself from the market. You have to know first, what is it that doesn't exist in the market that you need to bring that will be unique and differentiate you from any other player within the market. But also, you want to earn better revenue than the current market. You also want to improve your profitability, which is basically your margins. And that is why then you will engage on the strategy. But you also want to have a long-term plan, not just looking at the day-to-day, but you want to have a clear vision of what are the things that you should be working on. And I know as entrepreneurs, sometimes we struggle to choose what exactly do I need to focus on? And that thing that I need to focus on, how long do I actually work on it? And choosing that sometimes get to be difficult when you don't have a clear one-pager document that gives you a direction. And at the end of the day of your strategy, you will end up with one-pager. But in this process, we're gonna work together. So there's a lot of reasons that you could actually find yourself struggling with in your business, but then you realize the reason why you're struggling is because you actually have not mapped up the strategy document that is providing guidelines. So in your business, you could also understand that, you know what, I need to do some planning, but I don't even know where to start. So today is the right day. You could have set goals and they may not be measurable, or you may not monitor because you don't have tools to monitor a lot of activities within your business. Strategy does allow you to be able to monitor several activities within your business. And we have spoken about accountability. We also have spoken about direction. And again, in other things, you might have said yes to other ideas of the business, but you realize actually maybe you should have said no. Why? Because you didn't have a clear niche of where exactly you're going to be choosing. And I think in one of you, I even said the other day, you have to choose a specific niche so that you then have a market share of that niche. Some of us, we throw the net into the sea with the wrong net in the wrong place. And as a result, we end up not catching anything. So it's important to have a very clear direction on where you want to go, but also be able to say yes or no to ideas, but also build yourself to make decisions easier on which activities and how does that activity help you to achieve the vision and the goal. You also just need to make sure that as you're building up your business, you are clear what will make you successful, what will make your business successful. And guys, after several research over and over, even in my own business, I finally had figured out what is the real reason why we struggle and fail in our small businesses, which then means what do we need to prioritize. And the most important part also is understanding that when we are not optimizing the resources that we have, we then tend to waste them. But in general, talking about strategy, most entrepreneurs generally think that is for guys in the boardroom. Guess what? You are also in the boardroom. So get on with it. Let's have some discussion on where to start with your strategy. And guys, please, you must have read your material, share your comments and the questions, but also what you have learned so that we can share with others. Now, I'm gonna also then just make sure that we're all on the same page. First part that you have to do when you're reviewing your strategy is really asking yourself where I want to be, where I want the industry to be. Do I know what it looks like? That is the vision. The vision is where you want to be. The vision is where you want your industry to be. What irritates you the most? What are the things that when you think about your industry, they just get on your nerve? What are the things that frustrate you about your industry? What are the things that make you not sleep at night? What are the things that are closer to your heart that when you solve them for yourself, you will solve them for everyone in your industry? Because I also believe you are the first customer in your business. So therefore, which means whatever products and services that you should come up with should be what? Solving your own problem. And guess what? You will never give up on solving your own problem because you have an interest in it. And that is important because, guys, running a business is difficult. Because it's difficult, then it means you're going to need all the resources in the world to keep pushing and also pursue that. And when you are pursuing it and you have an interest in it, you will not give up because you will know that if you're giving up on yourself. So it is important to really try to make sure when you're choosing your passion and you're choosing whatever that vision of what you want this life to be about, you're choosing something that is very close to your heart. But I also usually will tell you that passion does not guarantee profit. You must sense it, you must process it. You must always process that passion. Ask yourself, is there a market value in it? Is there an exchange? Is there someone willing to exchange that? What's the volume like in that industry? so that you can see if you're going to make money or not make money. Now, then once you have worked out your vision, you have answered those questions, what irritates you, what do you see your industry moving, or where do you see yourself moving, and why that matters to you, because that now defines your purpose. Why that matters to you defines your purpose. You can then work out a mission. So a mission is basically providing to you it's almost like it's what you're gonna be marching on day to day towards that vision, because the vision is a long term, whereas a mission is a continuous working on it. So from your vision and your mission, you then have to work out what are the core values that you prescribe to, what matters to you the most. And that matters to you the most has to tie back to that vision, has to tie back to that mission. Because if your core values say something else versus to what you are pursuing in your vision, then you actually now gonna lose authenticity. You will also be in business for the sake of just making money. And there's no business that is sustainable, that you will run over time where you're only just focusing on money. The business has to be fueled by both money, passion, and the right vision. But that vision, as I said, make sure when you select it is something that doesn't exist. If it does exist already in the market, you're like me, you choose the product that already exists. You then have to figure out in an innovative way how to repackage it, plus also how to make sure it fits the market, the target customer profile that you are targeting. Because if it doesn't fit, then you're wasting your time. See, Tyson has, Tennyson, you have your hand up. Tennyson, your hand is up.
Yes, sorry, just a quick question. Does mission and vision have to be long-term, as in 5 to 10 years? Or can you set, for instance, a 3-year mission and vision, and then you review it after that period?
So I'm gonna answer this in different ways. I am not the same person I was a year ago. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. So I do believe as we grow as human beings, we need to refine ourselves. So yes, I needed to set a vision and a mission that is 5, 10 years time. But you should actually ask yourself every year, as you're doing your planning, am I still aligned? It does, based on what I know now, does this still make sense? So that it's aligned to the environment, so that if there has been drastic changes in your environment, you can then customize it to that environment. Maybe you actually had a 5-year plan, but someone came up with a better product than you had. So you will need to revise it then, because by what? The destination might not have changed, but also who you want to be seen as in the market might have changed. I hope that answers. Tennyson, does that answer your question? Or do you have a follow-up?
No, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Great. So we change. We even change ideas about a lot of things. We change. And because we are not static, we're not, even the stone changes over time. So we as human beings, I can change my mind right now by you maybe discussing with me and engaging with me and showing, hey, Precious, have you thought about this? Then I can change my mind from my position. So, and also, I really believe the more flexible you are, the better that you can actually really almost like panel beat yourself to see. Because remember, when you're outside in the market, you're not a player in the market. You might see things differently. But when you start operating, the market might have a different responses than what you actually envisage when you were planning. So I will make an example. At the beginning, I actually thought, okay, I'm gonna launch an auditing firm. but only to find that the clients that I was targeting, one, could not afford to pay my rate. Two, they actually did not even understand the role between an accountant, auditor, bookkeeper, a tax practitioner. They had no idea on who are these people, what their role is. So I will go to a client and say, I'm an auditor. They then say, okay, we need to prepare financial statements. And I said, no, I don't prepare financial statement. The accountant prepare the financial statement. They will say, but you are also an accountant. I said, but I am an auditor today. I don't want to prepare the financial statements. Oh Lord, it was like in out. So I really struggled. I didn't realize that my customers did not actually even understand the difference. But also, when your customer does not understand your product that or the problem that you're trying to solve, what does that mean? They will also not buy what you are selling because they don't understand what you're talking about. So, and see, when I went to the market, I had a total different idea versus when I was in the market. So when I was in the market and I realized, oh no, they don't even know the difference. Okay, fine. I then added up accounting services. Oh, I confused the market altogether because now they didn't know who I was when I was an auditor or an accountant. God, the mistakes we have made. Oh, Lord. Anyway, so, I mean, so also how the market is responding to you. So what I picked up was that the market was responding overwhelmingly on training and programs that I was running. Maybe it's because they were free, I guess, you know. So I then realized, okay, maybe I will add the training. But then it didn't work out because they couldn't afford for me to actually attend, for them to attend those sessions. So what I'm saying is that you have to pitch the product. The product could be the perfect product for that market, but if there is no exchange of value, they don't see the payment, they're not gonna pay, you are really bad luck. You really have to walk away because you shouldn't be doing things for free, not unless you are leveraging a relationship or you know what would it mean in terms of the long term. Anyway, so enough with me laughing at myself, and I see some of you guys are giving me some heart, thank you, and some of you are laughing at me. That's okay. You know what I've realized? I've said to myself, if there's anything about the mistakes I've made, I will make sure that everyone in the country knows what are those mistakes, because then at least you're not going to repeat the same mistakes I have made. And that is why in other instances, I will have a very strong view about something, not because I disagree about your experience, but because I'm also pulling from my experience. So we just need to make sure that your experience also is validated, but also my experience, you understand why in other instances I'll say certain things. And it's not because I've read it in some book. It's not because maybe I think I know more than other people. No, it's just because I realized that me keeping quiet about what was the truth then made me feel as though what other people were saying was not the truth. I actually cannot, almost like I had no right to say that is not right when I am not sharing my experience. So because what I picked up was that whatever that was sitting in the books really did not count. So, and guys, just give me a second. I need just to close the lights. There's the sun is blocking my eyes. Apologies for that. I'm back. Just needed. Okay, great. So I really need you to, when you are assessing, so here what I'm saying, ask yourself, does that condition exist in my industry? Okay, if it doesn't, which condition is actually hindering me to be able to do this? So, hi, okay, I see people are putting some notes. Let me just take a few minutes to go through the notes. Hi, boy. You wanna just unmute yourself? Boy, do you wanna unmute yourself?
Hi, Sis Presh.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, and how are you?
Good.
So I'm asking about, remember we had a chat last week,
Yeah.
and I went back and I have been thinking about it and how to, because I was also on the verge of introducing another product, which has been in the pipelines for like almost 2 years. So finally, I got what I would say it's like the green light for it to go ahead. So I'm asking, I find myself in a position whereby I feel like I'm in the middle now. I want to grow the revenue, and I also want to introduce this product. I want to grow the revenue on the products that are already selling, but also introduce this new product. And how would that look like? So I'm trying to find a way and a strategy of introducing this product. I have sort of posted it, and there was a lot of interest on it from current customers and other people as well. So yeah, that's where I am right now in terms of what is it that I want to do, the goals that I've set for myself for the coming year, and how do I best put everything into the market, especially this product, which will be definitely competing with the big companies. I don't know how to position it, basically. Let me just say that.
Okay. So first of all, if I was you, I will first just make sure the stuff that we're known for, the stuff that your customer come back for to buy back from you, that is available in all our selling channels.
Okay.
Why do I say that? Because you don't want to be known for lots of different things, because that does not capture the market share. But you want to be known for one or two things, but in those things, you are the best in it, so that you can capture the market share. Our challenge is a small business. We launch products too close to one another, different products, and then we end up not capturing and owning a market share. I want to make another example. I guess start nje i-Dettol. Niyayazi ngithi i-Dettol kaya yase-Unilever.
Yes.
Just imagine brand ye-Dettol. For the longest time, they were only just selling Dettol liquid.
Yeah.
Only later, when they have established the brand and the product, they then introduce the soap, and then a liquid soap later. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I will make another example of a product where they also took their time. Skip. We all know Skip. I guess I've got another Unilever product. Skip. Skip was a powder, was introduced long time ago. Only the last, I think, 5-7 years ago, they then introduced Skip liquid. So I am saying, why is that important? Is so that because your processes and your system has to get to a point where you are doing this the most efficient and most cost efficient and the fastest way. But when you are not repeating that and doing that, you are touching other things.
I didn't understand that.
You then have a problem, because your processes and systems are not ready for scale. There's a big demand that comes, you are unable to meet the demand because you are not repeating these processes and systems over and over to a point that you can do it on your sleep, to a point that anyone in your business can replicate exactly what you do, no matter what, because now you are ready for scale. But also understand some of the products that you are selling have a specific shelf life.
Yes.
Because they have a specific shelf life, it also means that even if you were to scale, there will need to be a localization that needs to actually change. If you were to actually, should I say, scale or replicate yourself, there will be a problem with localization. But then you really need to then ask yourself, if my shelf life is shorter and I then have a problem with localization, okay, which product am I making most profit? Because it then means I will only just do those. But how I'm then gonna make sure my name is known in that industry or in that location, I will then look within my local potential distributors, dailies, the coffee shops, and a whole lot of places, supermarkets, birthday cake places where they sell decor stuff, jumping castle, or whatever case. You then say, okay, then I'm gonna make sure that I have sales agent in those markets to then push this product. But again, you really have to sit back and ask yourself, if I launch this product, how far can I get with it? Is this gonna make most of my money? What about the product that I've already been selling that
Yes.
they are moving? What is the shelf life of those? And how long do they take before they sit up? Guys, always focus on the market share. I will read about you doing one cake, yeah, boy, to men. But this one cake, the whole world wants it. That is how you capture the market.
Mm.
So really think very hard. Think very hard about this and really think about also, because you have a problem with a product that is shelf life, then these days there is even ways of freezing cakes. I've seen frozen cakes.
Yeah.
And then you just warm it up or leave it out for an hour outside, and then it's ready to eat fresh. So those are the things that you're gonna need to work on. But you have to work on those things, innovate on those things, only on the product that you are making the most profit and that is moving.
Okay. So the product that I want to launch is fresh. It's in line with what I'm already doing. It's just the before the process part. So it's a premix of the scones that we're already selling.
Okay. If that's the case, then you then ask yourself, it's a product that already exists in the market. What is currently not existing? Take the top 5 brands in your industry who are selling exactly that, because that product you're talking about already exists in the market where it's already premixed. But analyze what is different about yours. So for example, when you're buying premix, what I've noticed, they don't have a proper labeling. A proper labeling will actually tell me the ingredients, it will also tell me a clear instruction on how to do the stuff, but also what is inside that ingredient. How many am I gonna make? How long should I be freezing it for? Almost like an information of the food that I'm actually eating, the calories and so on. Yeah. So that is why if I were to pitch that type of product, I will pitch it for a specialty food. So a specialty food will be maybe a keto muffin mix of some sort. Do you understand what I mean? Or diabetic free or something. But it will be a niche. I will not pitch a product in the same market as others.
Okay, so different market.
Yeah, you're gonna go very niche. You're gonna go niche and you're gonna sell it to specific people that are actually focusing on health. Okay, Thabiso, and then I will go, Thabiso, you go.
What you're saying to be Dimelo, as you're talking about a product at a time, would it be advisable to apply that to my product, which is a children's book that I've written in all the 11 official languages? Do I then only start with one language because sometimes I'll say to people, to clients who have bought, they've got a cousin who speaks Zulu. Do you have it in isiZulu? And yes, I do. But then the cost of printing all the languages would be more than if I focus on only the Setswana, which is the first one that I've done. But it is available in the other languages I could print, but the cost. So do I maybe just focus on the Setswana and push that? Or in this case, is a product such that it would be more profitable for me to be able to offer it in all the 11 official languages, since all children speak different languages?
That is fair enough. Again, go back to the drawing board. Who's your customer? Why that customer? These books that you have designed, you said before they're about a self-esteem of a Black child, right?
Yes,
That's what you
yes,
said.
yes.
So then in that case, who get affected by self-esteem the most? Is it a girl or is it a boy, Black child?
I'd say both.
Okay. It sounds to me that at this point, you're still estimating. You have to be very clear. The reason why I'm saying that is that if you have then saying both, then which means Girl Scout or Boy Scout could be your brand association. And for as far as I am concerned, as much as it is good to have our linguistic language or our vernacular languages, I personally, as Precious, please note, as Precious, feel I have to raise my children to actually be in the international world arena, not just on South African context. So I will not therefore choose a product that is just vernacular, that has a vernacular in terms of emphasis, but I will still just do one in English. And then if there are requests on, I will have a minimum order when there's request for different vernacular language. Why? Because the cost of doing it is generally high. Or I will actually find someone who will produce it in a way that is not a readable, maybe it's a read to. So someone actually read it as make it an audiobook, but in vernacular, but not in written form, because a written form is generally more expensive also. So those are the things that you're gonna need. You see, when you are clear as who your target market is, you will then also be clear who then this product is destined for. I personally do believe that we have to raise children to be the children of the world. Yes, our vernacular is important because it teaches about our origin, where we come from. But when I position it, I will position it in a generic, like an English, but then as I grow my volume, because the challenge with South African book publishing industry, we don't have lots of volumes. So because you already have a problem with volumes, then your operational cost and your fixed costs are gonna be so high. It's not gonna be worth it. So if I was you, I would choose English, and then I pitch it. Girl or boy, doesn't really matter, but I know who I'm pitching to. I'm pitching to schools where they will actually buy, where there's reading, where there's book clubs, and. I will not necessarily just pitch it to schools that don't have that culture of reading, because then the book is going to be collecting dust in the library. So I will pitch it even to moms, I will pitch it to different schools, but I will also find camps where I can run a play, to convert it to be a play, but make the book to be just almost like a tool or instrument to introduce the topics that you have written about. And I mean, I will reproduce it and make it a cartoon and sell it to SABC Education. So, but again, remember, I'm just providing you the ideas. I will not necessarily convert it into a vernacular. Instead, I will reproduce it in different types of content, in different ways of content. Angazi, Sisi, did I throw you on the bus on that one? Where are you? I don't see you anymore. Where are you? Are you still here? Okay, did I lose her? Where is she?
The bus is driving over her.
The bus is driving over her. Okay.
Wow, Tennyson, wow.
It's fine. At least you will have a recording. But guys, it's really about your role is to own the market share. Your role is to own the market share. But you can own a market share even with just one product by reproducing, especially for content, reproducing it for different platforms, for different uses. And as long as the message is out there, because your aim should not be about vernacular language. It should be about, is the message out there? How that message is transmitted should be in different forms. Even if you are then going to choose the language, only expand if maybe SABC say, hey, we now want it in English. No problem, because at the bottom, I'm going to say, buy the book here, there. Then I will increase my volumes. So anyway, let me go to Petole. Hi. Petole, you want to unmute yourself so that we can hear you. Okay, did we lose him?
Yes, I'm still here.
Oh,
I'm still
great.
here.
You have a question or a comment?
It's just more of a follow-up question there. In the sense that so like you just said, so I run a vegetable seedling company. So we sell vegetable seedlings. So it's more or less like it's a nursery whereby we categorize our clients into 3 customers. So we do have emerging, we do have subsistence, and we do have backyard gardeners. So with that being said, you said something that do not pitch the product in the same market. So with that being said, so we also saw that people in backyard gardeners and subsistent gardeners, they need what we call those byproducts. So they're like the must-have product, not the nice-to-have products, like your fertilizers, your spraying chemicals. They do need them. So we are trying to introduce these products, since we are based in Soweto, and most of the products are not easier to find. So I just wanted to check when you said that pitching the product in the same market, but also I just want to have clarity when it comes to that, whereby you're saying that you can have one product but have a market share, but introducing other products, what does it mean in the same market?
So this is what we call cross-selling, Petula, where you already have a customer and now you're cross-selling. So in your case, you are selling the plants, you then now are adding maybe compost or soil. So it's very easy to do that when you have a market that you have captured. But what I'm saying to you, that will be the most profitable way of building up your business, to actually sell different products to the same customer. But that in most cases does not increase your market share. What increases your market share is selling one product in big volumes in different people.
Okay.
You see, having a market share means you can, in a long term, control the market, but also you can have some sort of a monopoly. When you have some sort of a monopoly, what happens? You can detect the price. You can set the price.
Yes.
So again, Petula, when you sit down and you relax, what is the most irritating thing about your industry? What are the things that in your industry they are not doing that they should be doing? That if you were to invent that magic solution to your industry, you will capture the market. Because that is what you should be asking yourself. It can't be as entrepreneurs, sijabulela ukuthola just okuncanyanyana, because then that doesn't count. And that is why we don't matter in the market.
Okay.
You will only matter into the market when you own a market share. You are selling in Soweto. Can you figure out what is missing in your current market, current target? Can you just then be known just for that? People will go everywhere, but bazofuna wena because you're only just selling that. Now, Mina said, thank you, Sis Precious. Now I really understand where to go wrong, where we go wrong as a entrepreneur. I hope so. I hope so. Itumeleng, you say, would you advise the same for a boutique in an instance? So for a boutique, it's really going to depend, what am I doing in the boutique? Am I a designer or am I a retailer? Do you want to come to, Petula, before I go, are you fine with my answer? Or do you have a follow-up?
No. Okay, yes, I do. Yes, I do. With that, what you just mentioned was that, so we're trying to do what we call, what is this thing? A subscription, whereby people that can't grow, they can subscribe to us, whereby whatever troubleshooting they have with their plants or their produce, they can call us. So
okay, so you now are introducing professional services.
Yes, we're introducing professional services.
Okay.
However,
Before you move on that, what made you think that there was a need? Have you quantified the need? How many
Yes.
inquiries did you receive per month?
Okay.
So what I'm saying, before you make a decision about, okay, I'm now going to create a service or I'm now going to create a product, you need to quantify the volume, because the volume multiplied by the rate, which is the price, will then give you the revenue. But then you're also going to ask yourself, what's the cost of bringing this product or service? Does that cost justify the revenue based on the inquiries?
Okay.
So my suggestion for you is that from today, record all your inquiries. So-and-so, cell number so-and-so requested, had a question on this. There you go. Okay, then you put it aside. In 1 month, maybe instead of you providing a one-on-one, once a month, you have all these contact details of your clients, and then you run a webinar. This month's questions. That will still be cheaper than you designing a new product of which you don't even know whether it's going to be profitable or not profitable. But what it will do is it will capture your customer. You will have a closer relationship with your customer, but it will then build yourself up to then almost like position yourself, not just as a nursery, but position yourself as also someone who provide professional support. But at least you now have a base. You now have you are now building up customers. But the more people request, then you can start charging groups sessions. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
Where you are solving these problems. But the aim also of those people is for those people to buy. And now you can start creating the product. For example, you can start creating your own chemicals. Or to kill this, use this. I designed this, because you are now cross-selling your product to the same market.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Ivan?
All right.
Because your aim is, because the thing is, you have to understand, guys, avoid selling time. Do not sell time. Time will never make you money, but what will make you money is the product. So if I'm actually a gardener and I actually sell plants, no problem. It means I can create solutions. I can create different ways of planting. I can do a whole lot of things. I can advise. Yes, I can advise, but only to cross-sell my product, only to bring them to what? To what can they put in? You will mix this, and this is where you buy it. Here, click here, we will deliver. Do you understand what I'm saying? Avoid
Yes.
selling time.
Okay.
You're welcome, my brother. Okay, there was someone's hand that was up, and then Gamek up because I realized I didn't ask Upetulo if he has a follow-up question. Itumeleng, come Itumeleng, let's talk. So in the boutique, what is your role? What is your vision about it?
Well, I'll be selling clothing products from it, but I'll be running an image consulting, offering an image consulting services, but while running a boutique in conjunction.
What's your primary product? What's your primary sell? Where do you make most of your money?
Well, I haven't started.
Okay, so first of all, my suggestion is that I will not start with a boutique. I will start with the online store. And I will get different people before and after, before and after. And while I'm doing that, because you will already know your style and who you want to dress, how you want to dress, you will then start building up to then leading to where? To a boutique. Because if you're just going to open a boutique and you don't have a following, you don't have a customer profile, and you have not actually done a lot to build up, you're going to struggle to get people walking into your shop. But you can also then have an online store that is selling these clothes. So you only therefore later have the boutique. Almost I will have a boutique in a place where there's hair, there is nails, there's just almost like a spa kind of place. If I'm targeting professional women, if I'm targeting weddings, or I will be selling in the boutique, selling clothes for weddings, then it should be closer to where we sell things relating to weddings, kind of thing. So it really gonna depend, but I will start with the online. Why? Because that is the most cheapest and the quickest way of doing it. So have a Facebook page running, have your Twitter thing running, have your online store where you are showing before and after, and for people to actually buy the items. Get the market being interested in what you are doing, get them people to, and start selling. As you are selling and building up your profile and seeing how the market is reacting, then you start looking, okay, where am I getting my attraction? And is that a right market? You might find that the attraction actually is in a specific industry, like suits, but when you initially looked at your business, you didn't think it was going to specialize in suits. So you let the market dictate to you based on the demand. You don't come to the market being too prescriptive. I don't know if that makes sense. Because sometimes when you're too prescriptive, it means when the customers are corresponding to you and telling what they want, your ears are closed. Guess what? You're also closing your pocket. Money gone, because money is with the customer that you have to listen to. The more you listen to your customer, the more you will have money. It's not about your opinion, it's about whether the customer like what you're doing and they're happy with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you so much.
Okay, so already we're molding. Do you guys hear? Already I'm changing some of your business models. I'm changing things. So please drop me a chat box on there so that we can discuss different ways of doing these things. Because guys, I promise you, Hey, there's million ways of skinning the cat. Good, good. Okay, okay. I wanted just Okay, good. Okay, 1 second. I just wanna. Can I take some comments and questions? I see Pamela is also letting. Oh, this is precious one. Who sees us running monopolies. Of course, a monopoly does not just mean you can run a monopoly in your own township. If you have a product that is good, you can have a monopoly, but you have to do something long enough for the market to only know you just for that. Where they don't know the name of, they don't know your name, personal name, but they know the products. It's almost like buying a Colgate. So any toothpaste being a Colgate, kind of thing. And that is what you need. Where they don't even know your name, but queen cakes, or queen cakes, then you've captured the market. Can I take comments, guys, if there is any questions on what I've covered so far, so that I can then move on, and then we can then do also share. I need you guys to share your vision and your missions. Okay. So I had asked you to, on your worksheet, to actually, someone said, I'm with you, Sis Precious, as you stipulate an expanding example of other business. Okay, everyone is all good. Okay, let me switch back my video. Okay, great, perfect. Okay, I had asked you to complete a sentence of a vision and a mission. And I actually made sure, even on the mission, that you have to be very specific. 2, 4, so that, and I articulated that 2 is what you do the best, is what is it that you provide. And then the key customer is who, and to buy through is, and then sell the outcome. Just make sure that you got those pieces together. And please share your mission on the chat box. Let me review it, and also your vision. Okay, so that is what I need you also guys to look at. The other thing that I wanted to discuss with you was that one of the reasons why we struggle as entrepreneurs, because we run around, there's always things that we're chasing, and we just everywhere. We actually end up not necessarily growing our business, not replicating ourselves. So any industry, from what I have observed, the most important thing that we need, other than a good product, we need the right people in the team. We need the right people to support you. We need the right people to help you build your business. And that is important. So go back to your industry, look at what is missing, but also understand what skills and experience that you need to grow that business, to build a business in these areas. I see Sylvia sharing that my product is live chicken, and customer also need feeders, and now I'm delivering chicken feeds, and now I'm getting more profit in addition. That is wonderful, Sylvia. Definitely, live chicken, you can actually have a byproduct of a live chicken, which can be feathers. It can also be what? It could be you can create fertilizer, can do a fertilizer from your chickens. So the byproducts of you having live chicken. So you maybe there is lots of product that can actually be created from that, but you can also maybe give it to someone who will then either give you as an exchange for feeds, or give you an exchange to actually give you something which is of a value to you. I know someone in another program we're running, they had quite a lot of chickens, and they used to throw away the chicken poo. And then after attending some of the sessions we're discussing, he ended up starting to actually sell the chicken poo as a fertilizer. But he, in other instances, he didn't sell it. He exchanged it for the feeds because then it helped for the guys that were actually selling him mealies. So you can actually create a product from your byproduct of your product to then have some sort of income. The aim is to look at what you're doing and say, what can I do to innovate? What can I do to make these resources that I have go an extra mile? Okay, guys. Okay, so some of you are gonna say, but Precious, where do I get the information to confirm my assessment, to confirm which areas maybe I already know where I wanna move into, but I also wanna know who are the players in the market, and I don't have enough resources to conduct a research. Guys, there is so many places to find the information. Your business chambers, they will provide you with some information statistically. Number two, the association, go to DTI, they have different associations in different industries. Number three, if, for example, you are in Department of Agriculture, look at their strategic document, their APP. Look at what they've put in are the key drivers. Ask yourself, these key drivers, how do they influence my business? Now, you are building up something which we call PESTEL, right? We're building up the questions that I've put in. You are now looking for the answers, because in other instances, you may not have the answers for that, because one, you want to look at the situation in your market, in your industry, in your country, and also in the world. Because as much as you might be operating in a very, maybe in some small township, how that township respond to your products and services is also influenced about what is happening in the world. So that is why it's important not just to look at your local area, but also look at the country level, also world, and then just see how markets are actually changing. And so when you're analyzing your situation, you look at the internal, and then you also look at the external world. And then from that, when you have built up this PESTEL, you then categorize it into 4 areas, which is what? Your SWOT. Your SWOT, having an understanding, okay, what is the strength, what is the weaknesses, and what are the threats, and also what are the opportunities. You will then take the opportunities and build them up based on what you have worked on, because the opportunities now are gonna come up with what? With your strategy. Your strategy comes from what? Your opportunities. Your strategy comes from your opportunities. There are instances though where your strength is gonna provide you some sort of opportunities, but the strength is really about your profile. It's really about your positioning. It's really about what exactly do we master in our business. And that needs to be validated, because sometimes as entrepreneurs, we think, no, I've got that covered, but in other instances, we haven't. Make sure also when you are choosing your strength, you're choosing the strength that is unique. I've come across entrepreneurs that will say, we're 11-1 BE. That is definitely not your strength. I've seen like literally people writing that as part of their strength. That only works if in your industry, there is a BE regulator who penalizes people for not meeting up BE certain levels. But number two, in that market, you are the only one who's BE, then it counts. It doesn't count when majority of South Africa is BE. So maybe BE really counts in countries like overseas. So really understand and look at your market and say, why is that strength unique? So choose the strength that is unique, choose the strength that really make you different to someone next to you, because your strength is the reason why someone should choose you over somebody else in the market. Christina, I don't understand your question. Do you want to just maybe explain and share with me what do you mean? Christian, you want to come through? Okay, Christine is not coming through. I'm not sure then. Maybe just type it if you can't talk. So guys, I think you have about 48 to 49 questions that will assist you to figure out things. And in terms of the SWOT, do you have any questions relating to that? Can we discuss it in more detail? Because in that, you're really gonna use it to help you categorize things, because you want to know is that some of it will also overlap. You will see something as economical, and then in other instances, it's market environment, but it doesn't really matter, because when you're now doing the SWOT, you're only gonna work with 4 categories. Okay. Can I have some comments or questions? No questions, no comments. Okay, you guys just wanna sit here and just listen to me. Okay, that's okay. Okay, I also just wanted to say, you can use even the negative. You can use things that are your threats. You can use things that are your weaknesses to your advantage. There is no loss. And weaknesses could be things that you really can be looked. It's how you look. It's either the cup is half empty or you don't see it as half empty. How you see your life really does matter. What you might see it as a dire situation, somebody else might not see it as such. So what I want to say to you is that never think because you now have worked out there's a weakness, that's the end of it. Just don't think that way. Say, okay, I have a weakness. Can I find someone who can assist me to sort it out? Or can I actually work on it? Can I spend 1 or 2 hours in working on it? Or should I actually just live with it and that's okay? You might find that your business might be struggling with cash flow, and that's the weakness that you have picked up. But then you realize that the reason why you're having a cash flow problem is because you're buying things for cash. So maybe figure out how to buy things for credit. While I know this is very difficult for entrepreneurs, I know I've been there with you. I also know that you should never stop knocking. Never stop knocking. So there are weaknesses that you can live with, but then when you're presenting your business plan, you will need to bring them in your risk assessment, where you will say, here's the risk that we have picked up, which is a weakness. This is how we're going to mitigate, or this is how we're going to retain it, and because that then provides whoever who's reviewing what you are doing can actually see that you've applied yourself. You know, in other market, threats are really you again, it's how you choose to look at them. But also how confident you are about your own stand on the issue. It's really about how confident you are on the product, but how well also do you know your customer, how the customer will actually respond. So you can play some nice trump cards on that. Do the opposite of what the market does, your market does. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, guys, one of the guys that I really like in their marketing strategy, Nando's. Nando's likes having this funny, intelligent jokes, but then they introduce a product in that. And they do the opposite of what KFC does, but they're edgy. So really think about your position in the market and think about how loud the market is. And then think about what can you say that is the opposite of what your industry leaders are saying, but you can stand by that assertion. So you have to be able to stand by the assertion that you have made. So for me, I chose, I will only just stick with finance until I'm known enough by enough people, I've captured the market, then I will launch other products, which I did. But I also made sure that I will say the opposite of what my fellow accountants or fellow CA would say. For example, they will teach you financial statements in terms of a whole list of things and current assets and all that. For me, it was simple. It was 4 things. It's income, it's expenditure, it's asset, it's debt, which is your liability. That's it. That's financial statements. So simplifying it also helps because it allows you to sound different than other people. But I could have gone maybe with complexity, but for me, I couldn't go with complexity because the target market was not sophisticated. So I needed to make sure whatever that I was communicating was simplified. Because in an entrepreneurship boardroom, there's an entrepreneur that has never finished high school. There's an entrepreneur that has got an MBA, wanna run a business that is profitable. I need to make sure when they are in my presence, they have a veil. But how would I make sure I do that? I will make sure I simplify things at the beginning, but over time then add complexity. And then also be able, so that there's no one who's left behind. That is why I say the programs of training should not be leaving people behind, but it's to elevate those that are behind, but make sure those that are ahead, they're actually then able to apply and run with it. So really, when you look at the threat, think very hard about your positioning. Can I take any questions for now? Oh, we're almost running out of time. Whew. Okay, so guys, with the business model, just focus on the questions that are on the business model. Work through the questions and follow the sequence that I have created. Do not go, don't jump, because your way of thinking about it is really aligned also to things that are related to one another. That is why I had listed down, start with this and this and this. So please make sure when you're following up your business model and share your business model with me. Let me have a look. Yes, Boitu, your hand is up.
Okay, I was actually trying to type at the same time so that you can look at the vision statement and maybe let's go through it as an example.
Great, you can type it. Type it, I think I prefer type. So okay. Guys, business model is easy to do when you've already have an understanding of the market. Why? Because a business model is telling you, how are you gonna go about it? How are you going to distribute this product? What is the really value to bring this product? Okay, someone says, is it advisable to bring an outsider to assist with the SWOT analysis? Is there any danger if you do it yourself, but you have someone to blind spot? Of course, it's always advisable to have someone to actually assess and assist you to craft it up. It's not a problem, but make sure you choose the person who understands your industry. Make sure you choose someone who's not gonna look at your stuff, look at your stuff and then think, you know what, maybe I should be acquiring your business. Remember, SWOT comes from PESTEL. You have to do PESTEL first and then you move to SWOT. Makakula, does that help? Okay. Vuyo has typed, one of my future plan was to own a walk. Okay, one of my feet was to walk in boutique one day. Now I have changed my mind now. Yeah, but the cost of having a walk-in boutique is too high. I mean, for a commercial rental, you will need at least 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months rent. Angakayibali, the setting up of the shop, angakabali, the decor, there's a whole list of things. Whereas if you start with online, you will go to people's homes with almost like a person will say, this is what I like. And then you say, send me your pictures, show me your colors. Then you come with a trolley of what you think that person should wear, what job. So focus on your system, Itumeleng, on your first maybe 2-3 years of your business. Refining your questionnaires that the person will complete online if they need your service. Remember, you are not selling only just professional service, you are also selling the clothes. And you are more likely to make more money from the clothes than on the professional services. So yeah. Okay. So but I can read your vision statement. Oh, okay, I don't know, but I'm just making up the example. Oh, okay. To whoever has put stuff about a walk-in boutique one day. Yeah, start yeah. Start with something that is cheaper, where the cost of doing it grows. You see, and you will have walk-ins at some point and have places and stuff, but building up a brand. Remember, when you are a person who is selling professional service like a stylist, you are selling a lifestyle, but that lifestyle will then sell the clothes. Okay. It's long. But it's long. Your vision is long. Is there a way you can put it together in a way that is shorter? Maybe put together innovative artisan. Yeah, so I think, first of all, what do you think your customer prefer? Do they prefer a home bakery, or do they prefer a mass production? Boyd, what do you think?
So far, they enjoy the home feel to the products.
That's what I thought. Anywhere in the world, a bakery is about what? Home feel. So maybe think about that. Just think about that. You see, your vision will also tell you which product to create or which product not to create. So I think make it short enough so that you can convert it to be your tagline.
Okay.
Think about that. So yes, we like the artisan stuff, we like the innovation, but talk to your customer with your vision. Talk to your customer. Right now, it's talking to the intellectual. You are positioning yourself as a manufacturer.
Okay.
Not as a baker, which is also a retail.
Okay.
Go back to the drawing board and also ask yourself, how big do you want to be? Guys, I grew up in Pietermaritzburg. There was a place called Upper Crust. The cake there, I don't know if there's someone from Pietermaritzburg here. Sure, the cake there, even my wedding cake, I bought it there. Anything they baked was one, even if it was just a croissant or a scone. It is amazing. Yeah. So ask yourself, how do you want to see yourself? Do you see your staff at Pick and Pay one day? Do you see your staff and when someone is picking it at Pick and Pay, what do you want them to feel? You want to create an emotional attachment. Okay. Magagula say, how detailed and rigid must you be in following your strategy? You see, if your pastel and your SWOT analysis was done correct, it's not an option to change your strategy or not to change your strategy, kind of thing. Because your strategy is telling you how, based on you understanding the environment, both internal and external, but you also understanding what is my strength, what is my weakness, and where are the opportunities. So it's not like it's only when you're dealing with the strategy. I think most of the time the strategy does not change, but what changes is the tactics, the how that changes. Even though other people will also use tactics and strategy as one thing, but interchange or use them interchangeably. So what I want to say is, what needs to be done will be clear. Okay, this is what needs to, but how that needs to be done can be different. So I also then believe that if when you did your pastel and your SWOT, you really paid attention to the detail, you are more likely also to select the right strategy and also select the right tactics to actually solve the problem. And Umagagula is sending me these questions direct. Share the questions with everyone, Magagula. Funa private consulting. Okay, guys, let me take some questions because I've covered those few areas. I need to take some questions. We're still going to have a coaching session on this. Remember, I've already done presentations before. I just wanted to emphasize on a few things, but also use some of the example. We are going to run a very detailed coaching, but I need you to come with your staff, come with your business model, come with your canvases and stuff, and share and share also even some of the things that you have changed about where you want to start, but how you want to build your business. Okay, can I take any comments or question? We are still gonna run a session where we are dealing with individual questions, but maybe something that you have picked up when you were reading that you wanna share with the group, what makes sense to you or what didn't make sense to you. Maybe others also didn't understand. Can we cover that? Entrepreneurs, can we cover that? Then, because next time I am gonna focus on now designing the actual strategy, that one pager that I spoke about. That is gonna be our second session. And Denise, please share the link. You do have a link, right? Denise, please unmute yourself.
Yeah.
You have shared the link of our previous presentations.
Yes, it's
On
also
strategy.
it's on the additional resources. It's all there.
Perfect, great. Guys, do you have any questions or comments? What time are we finishing, Denise? At 6?
6:30.
Oh, great, we still have a lot of time. Guys, let's talk. Okay.
Can we go through a business model canvas, Presh?
Yes, definitely. We can definitely do that. Okay, but before we go to the business model canvas, I just wanted to say, guys, some of you, it's the first time we are doing this. Remember, I made an example of a child that the first time they walk, they will fall. And your teacher, when they were teaching you 1, 2, 3, they didn't teach you once, they teach you 1, 2, 3 over and over. So be prepared also to listen to the videos that I've done before and just hear over and over the same information so that you have a better understanding. At some point, something is gonna click and then also you will have a better understanding of it. So do not be afraid of repeating or also listening to it several times. Okay, we're gonna go through the business model. But before we build up even on business model, since we have so much time, I just wanna share with you guys on what has been other entrepreneurs saying about what helped them to look at, what made them to really start taking strategy serious. One of the guys was saying, Precious, you know, I finally understand that your marketing position, if it's not done right, it then means you might not have a market share, but not because your product is not right, but because you have not positioned yourself well. But also, some of you, you don't even understand what is your customer acquisition rate or customer retention rate or your customer conversion rate. Because all these things, they then count on how you then build up your marketing strategy, your pricing strategy, but also how you then gonna enter the market, but how are you gonna sell to that market, which now talks to the distribution. I also think sometimes we overwhelmed ourselves as entrepreneurs by monopolists and be so afraid of the monopolist that we then think the monopoly has taken over the whole market and then not look in our backyard. Because I think as human beings, the grass is always greener on the other side. And because we tend to think that way, we end up missing opportunities at the local level. So I really want you, when you are looking at your competition, look at your competition in terms of what are the things that they suck in? What are the things that you could perfect at your local level? Also, what are the things that you can do that will make sure that you don't compete with them. They actually even see you as one of their to their business processes. Just always remember, entrepreneurs, that you do not mix the attachment and emotion on a product if that product is not making you money. You do not have any emotional attachment. You rather abandon a product than abandoning the vision and the mission. Focus on the mission and the vision and make sure it's aligned to the product. But if that product is not giving you the value you're looking for, there's no point. That business is not sustainable. That business is not going to survive. Walk away. Don't have an emotional attachment on the product. Be committed to the vision. Because you see, when you're committed to the vision, you are going to come up with a better, different product. Petula, your hand is up.
Yes, Precious. I think to me, it's more of a comment and a question as well. So some of the terms we do really come across them, but the question is that how do we also I don't know how to put it, but how do you also make them
or whatever?
But okay, terms such as customer acquisition rate. How do we calculate acquisition rate your customers are? Like, can you make maybe like a calculation or something like that? Because it goes also to marketing, marketing reach as well. How do we calculate these rates as well?
So first of all,
I don't know if you get my question.
Okay, and I think I am getting your question. So first of all, you have to know the metrics of your industry. The metrics of your industry. A metrics of a dentist is not going to be the same as the metrics of the baker. Do you understand what I mean? Each industry has its own metrics and its own drivers. Some industry, they are selling the volume. Some are selling the commodity. A jeweler is selling a commodity. Ngisho noma ngabe wenza isele one, but that sale jewelry udayise ngo-60,000. The whole rent is paid for the whole month. Do you understand what I mean? Whereas if I'm selling in a bakery, I only had maybe sold one item, which is a scone, that won't even cover the operational expenses of 1 hour. Do you understand what I mean? So what are you selling when you are selling in a bakery? You're selling the volume. You are selling the volume. That is why I kept on saying, get to the market share. How to get to a market share? Be known for that thing, so that one thing that you are best at, that thing that make customer come to you over and over, that's the thing. Sell more of that. Because now you're then gonna build what? The quantity. The quantity is gonna increase. So again, when you are analyzing your industry, you will know what are the things in terms of pastel. But from those things that are in pastel, you then say, what is the impact into my metrics? Where are my highest top 5 expenses? What drives these top 5 expenses? And if these top 5 expenses, how do they relate to my sales? The product that I'm selling, the service that I'm offering. And if you don't have a direct link, there's a potential that you're having too much operational expenses that you can't recover. So your operational, your gross profit margin is actually low. Your aim is make sure that all your top 5 expenses have a direct link into your cost. so that you keep your operational expenses low, so that you make more profit. So the metrics, you work it out. You work it out by identifying in your industry, what is my key metrics? And metrics again of a marketing, for example, in a website, or marketing, maybe a digital marketing in a website. That metrics is totally different when you're running it in a marketplace. You're running a standalone website versus in a marketplace. So I'm saying to you, Petul, you could actually even be in the same market, in the same industry, doing the very same thing. But when I sell in a marketplace, like even macro, for example, it's not the same metrics I'm going to look at when I have a standalone website. So first, therefore, what does that mean? Go back and ask yourself, this is the strategy I am choosing, or this is the thing that I want to do. And this is how I'm going to do it. Ask yourself, what are the things that I will need to measure to help me reach this goal? That is what we call a key performance indicator. That key performance indicator could actually be outcome based, but that outcome based has to be worked out. What are my inputs? How many activities will I need to do to get that result? And that is why it's also important to analyze your processes for both input and also output. So I can't answer the question, but yes, maybe come back to me, Petulo, when you have identified in your market where you are selling, based on the channel that you have chosen, based on your distribution channel that you are selected, and ask yourself, how much does it cost for me to sell, like Uber is now selling Uber Eats? How much did it cost her to do that? To manage it and run with it. Okay, listing up her product at Spa. How much did it cost her to go through that? So, because each channel might actually have different cost acquisition. You might have decided you want to distribute to other nurseries, but they are collecting and you sell through them. So even the cost, you are cross-selling. So the cost then might be low. So really first identify which channels you are selling your stuff into, how much does it cost you to put through those channels. Then you will know how much it costs to have that specific platform.
Okay.
Which will then now talk to the customer acquisition and the rate, because in other markets, for example, in my industry, training and development, they say a person will buy a product from you once you have created some sort of a trust, but also you must have communicated with them at least 7 to 9 times in terms of your email correspondence. I mean, 7, 9 times. Person must have met with you or sat with you, but 7, 9 times. Do you understand what I mean? So that is my industry. I don't know what is yours, because we're in different industries. So understanding your industry, understanding how much it takes to get a customer really matters, because it also tells you how long, how many times are you going to do the activities that you need to do. But maybe to buy a cake from Uber is just buying a scone once, you know, and then if I like it, then I go back. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So what else? Okay, we said we're gonna do the business model. Denise?
Yes.
Would you please, I don't have it open on my side. Would you please share the business model on the module? There is questionnaire, and then you can just turn it around so that it's on landscape. I can see it and everyone can also see it as we're going through each line item.
Okay, let me just try accessing it because I've accessed Zoom from a different computer today.
Oh, okay. Oh, I hope so. Okay, let's give Dennis a few minutes.
Yep.
Christina said this thing of emotional attachment is caused by investing more and time on the product. Yes, Christine, the more time you invest in it, the more money. And that is why it's important. At every stage in your product development, you have to ask, what's the expected return? But you must have quantified what's the expected return. Is anyone who would like to share while Denise is working on the finding that document? No one wants to say anything? Okay. How many people are here? Oh, we were 39 and 40 just now. We've lost some people then. It's getting cold now in Joburg. Okay, guys. Let's start with grab your note, open your notes. We will start. I'm not gonna wait for Denise. Oh, there she is. Great. But Denise, on the notebook, I had said step 1, I had blocked them in different components.
Okay, you want it from the workbook. Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah, you are showing me from the worksheet, I think.
Yeah.
On the workbook, because I want to follow those steps. Step number 1, because it's 9 steps. Okay. I think step number 1 is customer profile. Step number 1 is a customer segmenting your customers. We spoke about this on the very first session we had. For who are you creating the value for? Who are the most important customers? So I remember even distinguish between a customer and a consumer, right? So again, when you're doing the customer profile, it's important to understand that customer pain and gains when they acquire the product from you, so that you are very clear what problem are you solving for that customer and why they are coming to you, and how do you make sure you're gonna keep them. So within your customer, you could actually have different segments of the customer profiles. So you could have B2B, within B2B, you could have smaller business, or you could have a medium size, and you could have larger business. So, but how you categorize, make sure you categorize them by the definition that suits your needs, but also that talks to the information that is available, so that you don't mention, like, I mean, I've seen people saying medium-sized businesses of maybe something 50 million. But then I say to them, okay, are you gonna ask your customer when they come to you how much revenue they make? And do you think they will tell you? I mean, people generally don't even share how much revenue they generate. So you really have to figure out how to ask a specific questions when you are screening up your clients. When you are doing your acquisition, your customer acquisition, have a way of assessing and evaluating to make sure that that person is the right customer that you actually are targeting. Denise, it seems like you are not succeeding. Denise, are you not succeeding?
Yeah, no, I've just
Okay.
had to, I went onto the link where all the material is because it's a different laptop. So I'm just opening it quickly.
Okay. So guys, what I've just explained is at the far right is the first block towards the end of the business model canvas, is on the customer segment. From that, you then ask yourself, what relationship do I want to have with these customers? And what type of that relationship is going to be? Because the relationship basically will then direct you on which channels you're going to use to distribute your product, to let them know that you exist, but also for them to buy from you, which now talks to that component. So in that is the last block, is the second last block. Denise, you're taking too long. Maybe share the document and try to see if you can't get another machine so that I can continue. Because I want to show this to entrepreneurs. Let me see. Okay, give me a second. Let me also see if I can't, guys, I'm just gonna try to see if I can't find it. Myself also on my side. Okay. Okay, what I'm gonna do is because I did not have it on my presentation that I had done. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just find one that Denise, we
Yeah.
also have we also have a software that can help also entrepreneurs to find different business model. So are you able to see my screen now? Okay. Denise, are you able to share the screen? Or should I go ahead?
You can go ahead.
Okay. I've just typed business model and I'm gonna just visit the site. And I'm gonna just show you what I was explaining. So when you're starting with your business model, oh, where is it? Oh, I hate these websites that have a picture and then you go to the picture is not taking you through what you need. Give me a second. I just wanted to show you where I was. There we go. Take this one. My eyes. Okay, guys, are you able to see my screen now? Do
We
you
can
see?
But are you able to just zoom in a bit?
Oh, you want me to zoom in a bit? Okay, let's see. How is this? Yeah, this is better. But you're not gonna see the questionnaires because the questions are with you. You have them on the notes. As long as you're able to see the block.
Yeah.
Are you seeing my cursor as I'm moving?
Yes.
Okay, great. So number one, you start from the customer segment. You find who's the best customer. And the best customer, guys, is someone who buys from you all the time. That is your custom. Please take into account not all product will have someone coming back and back because of the nature of the product. But it must be, you must select someone whom you can upsell when you have a once-off product. Okay, so that is customer segment. And in there, you're asking yourself, who am I creating this for? And who are the most important customers? And you can have different segments or categories of these customers. Once you have determined who that customer is, you then determine what type of relationship am I gonna have with this customer? And how will I actually be communicating with them? Which relationships we have actually established that worked, and how did that work out? What can we learn from that relationship? Maybe it could even be a relationship that got soured. Okay, what did we learn about that? What did that mean? Now, so you have moved from first customer segment, but you move to customer segment first by identifying who is the target, the best customer. And once you have, you then will categorize them. Then you'll have segment. And then you will then establish with this customer segment, what type of customer relationship am I gonna have? And then number 3 is which channel will I actually need to use? This customer is gonna be reaching out to me, and how will they be reaching out to me? Can I integrate these channels? Is there a way I can integrate? Remember, the channels are your distribution channel. The relationship is basically about how you will be communicating and working with your customer to deliver them their product, the product that they've ordered from you. So this, you do it together. Once you have established that, you will then have what? The value. I've had other consultants, they start with the value, because remember, the value is the product. They start with the value and then they go to the customer. I generally say, most of the time, if you started with the value, you've already got a very set mind as to what the customer wants and need. Whereas if you start with the customer segment, your value proposition also get enriched because you understand your customer better. Remember, we are in business because of customer, not because of a great idea, right? Your great idea means nothing if you don't have a customer. So in the value proposition, you say, what value do I deliver to my customer? And what are the problems that I'm solving? And the problem that I'm solving, can it be solved somewhere else? What are the alternative? Why is my offering better than the others? And why others are not good? All that is what you're dealing with on your value proposition, which is here in your product. You could go further and do a value proposition canvas to just analyze your product further, where you will also do a value proposition canvas. You can Google that, guys. And that will also give you to analyze further your gains and your pains. It will analyze further also the alternatives and so on. So this helps a lot to just make sure that you are clear what is the value proposition that you're offering. And then step number 3. Remember, step number 1 was to look at here customer stuff. Step number 1. Step number 2 is value proposition, where I'm also saying, if you're still not clear about what needs to be done, you have answered these questions under value propositions that I've provided to you, and you're still struggling, rather maybe consider doing value proposition canvas so that you can have a deeper understanding of what you're offering. Remember, what you're offering will not be bought by anyone if you don't understand it and the customer also doesn't understand it. Okay, so step number 4, Okay, 1, 2, 3. Step number 3, you now have to ask yourself, how do I do it to deliver this value proposition? How do I do it? What do I do to bring that value? And what resources do I use? And who are my partners that provide me that resource? So the partners provide the resources to do these activities that you do that gives you this value. And last part, how much does it cost versus how much does it actually bring, which is now the cost and the revenue. Okay, and guys, can I take your questions on this? Boy, you're the one who asked for this question, so would you like to come through? So you take them in block number 1, block number 2, block number 3, and block number 4, which covers here. Okay. Boy, are you still with me?
Yes, Sis Fresh, I'm here.
So let's take your baker, right?
Yes, ma'am.
From today, you're gonna look at your current customers that are coming in and you're gonna put them in category.
Okay.
In your case, you're probably gonna need to have the online customer. Since you've joined Uber Eats, you're gonna have walk-ins. But within the walk-ins, you could also have categories, the bulk buyers and the individual walk-ins, right? Okay. Why am I insisting on you to actually sell in bulk? Is because of the nature of your business is what? Is volume.
Yes.
The business model has to include people who are buying from you if you are a baker. But if you're a daily, then it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the difference? A daily is not the same as a baker. A baker is similar to a manufacturer. So in your value chain, we are like a manufacturer, but the manufacturer, a baker can have different distribution lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can sell to a retail, other retailers, other supermarkets. You can sell to coffee shops. You can sell to like the way Taka brands sell the bread, buy a deliver, or you can sell it to people that resell the cakes, and you see yourself as a middleman or a broker kind of thing. So they take the cakes, they go and sell them in shops. So again, you're gonna need to ask yourself, if I wanna have a clear understanding of my customer, is there a way I can categorize them in a way that help me to make better informed decisions on which channel to focus myself on? Because you see, if you have categorized your customer correct, you will also be able to choose the right channel to move more goods, because your business is a volume business. But if I am doing jewelry, I will have a different approach. Maybe for a jewelry, I will say, I'm gonna categorize them by the value or by the brands they buy, right? So on brands, maybe the ones that are buying Chanel versus the ones that, because Chanel will then fall under Dolce & Gabbana, that is a high end. And then I will then have other categories where it's a middle class kind of brands. Then again, I will have maybe that is my category B. And then my category C will be someone really where they buy a lower end pricing of jewelry instead of high end. So do you see the difference? I can have them because I want to categorize them by the revenue that I make. I want to see how much money am I making. So you could also categorize them by special events, by saying special occasions. But even within the special occasions, analyze the data further. Look how many people buy cakes from you for weddings versus how many people buy it for birthdays. Why? Because that tells you what strategy to take then. Because
Yeah.
you see, when you see a data of a lot of birthday cakes, which means you're selling to families,
Yeah.
which means you can cross-sell Amaskonge weekend, have a weekend special where they take the scones home for the weekend. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Whereas if it's weddings, then your upsell continuously will be the anniversary, starting new families, right? With the aim that in the long term, you will be doing all their wedding anniversaries or whatever, and their children and. So you see, the strategy is different, the distribution channel is different, even your marketing partners are different.
Mm. So would I need to be doing different business model canvases according to that, or they just can all fit?
No, so you need to do one business model for the products and services that you sell the most.
Okay.
So, for example, what is your bestseller right now?
Right now it's birthday cakes and scones.
Okay, birthday cakes and scones. Okay, birthday cakes. Do you know what age group are your birthday cakes selling?
It's usually kids. I would say anywhere from 1 to 10.
Perfect.
It's mostly,
So it's
yeah.
kids, which means your target market is what? Young families.
Yes.
What do you know about young families? They have a mom and a dad who's always busy, who's running around, right?
Mhm.
Who doesn't want to do the running around, who like things to be delivered to them. You also know that your scones are the best sellers. What does that mean? A cake is an occasional. It's one birthday a year.
Yes.
That is not sustainable.
Mm.
Because it means every day you're gonna be what? Selling a cake. You're gonna need to be selling a cake to a new person, a new
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Do you see the cost of acquisition is higher for that as compared for a scone, which I can have it every day or every 3, 4, 5 days a week?
Yeah.
Even though the value of the cake might actually give money, but because of the number of units that you can sell to one family, it doesn't justify. So
Yeah.
what do you need to do? You need to ask yourself, do a small survey and run special, get a thing and run special to sell other product to the same customer that bought a cake. Because customer acquisition is high. You're also gonna need to find another product which is on day to day. What else? Maybe not just scones, try to find at the high end. High end will probably be what? Croissant, right?
Mhm.
But then ask yourself, in this customer base you have, can you find customers that will be interested in croissant? Will they be interested if you deliver those croissant once a weekend for the weekends?
Okay.
So your customer segment, you already have two. You're saying, well, customer that buys from us daily, and then the second is customer that is occasions. So we do have those categories. But then if I was you, I would realize that if then that's the case, I have scones as my primary the product and then the cakes, then which means I'm selling to crashes. So I will then do pictures, social media, so that my distribution in terms of marketing reach will be what? My key partners is what? I'm a crash, because majority is kids.
Yes.
So I will include a crash, I will include schools, notice board. I will also even include the places where they sell things for parties and then have my flyer there for my cake. I will also even consider on Fridays, on the places that sell cakes and balloon, to have testers of cakes.
Okay.
And see how that get to attract. Over time, I should be seeing some attraction. The plan is to be consistent.
Yeah.
Then the customer relationship will also be determining exactly on how I will be communicating with the customers and how will I actually be how will I be working with them. But also it's really about how costly is that relationship to maintain. I'm of a view that a CRM, a easy CRM that has just birthday dates, that has the last customer buying and the last amount, also really help you to understand, also knowing the location. That also help you to anticipate certain cost, because you don't want to have too much delivery cost. But now you're with the Uber, so that will also assist. Now on channels, where am I going to reach this customer? Where am I going to sell to this customer? And that is in here.
Okay. Okay.
You could also even, when they sponsor the crash birthday, so the crash usually will have an anniversary. Us bribe the principal of the crash for the anniversary, and then you say, when is your anniversary for your crash establishment? I will come in with my samples.
Oh, okay. I never
That will
thought of
allow you to have a get. Hey,
Yes,
you have to put your your feet on the door and get in. So then you're in. The next time you leave your thinging there, you leave your flyers there. Yeah, and you can bribe the little kids to take it with a small, the very small cookie, and cover that, and you attach that with the flyer for the kids to take in a smaller plastic onion. Your marketing is done. The kids loving the biscuit. They will take that to mommy. Trust me.
Absolutely.
Those are the most reliable and persistent customers.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
So yes, so then you can build up. But do you understand what I mean? And then obviously your cost is really around the activities that you're gonna do. And remember, your activities do not just include you baking the cake. It also should include the how much it costs to be on the channel, how much it costs to run that relationship, and also how much it costs then to do that value proposition, which is the product.
Okay.
Are you good?
I am good.
Okay, great. Okay, I see there's lots of comments on the chat box. Okay, someone is saying, Sisi, very knowledgeable in marketing strategy and on the cake business. Guys, you have a look, have a look at another session that I ran on YouTube.
Is it on YouTube?
Hello?
I'm saying, is it on YouTube?
Yes, where I actually showed a cake business, but I show what the cake business can do in relation to other things. I think there was about 11 or 6 other things you can do within the cake business.
Okay.
The aim is multi-stream of income. You want to make sure the money never stops coming.
Yeah.
No matter what. That is what we call it, bulletproof it for any pandemic or economic downturn. So, and that is why you have to figure out the right business model. Okay, so Hlonipani's attraction of the car is it's well explained. Thank you, Hlonipani. And then Hlonipani's pressure is very notable. Okay, that's I've already read. Boy, maybe you and I can collaborate. Our product are aimed at the similar market. Yes, you guys could pair. Definitely, Tabi, so you could pair, but remember, you could pair in terms of cross-selling to each other's customers. When there's a birthday, maybe going to get a sales agent kind of a arrangement where she can then share with the moms that are buying a cake a voucher or a picture of the book and stuff. Or also, Tabiso, you could do the same and say there's a lady that sells a cake for kids when you are putting in the present. Or you can sell it as a combo. I think that would be amazing. You can sell that as a combo. Yeah, we want our kids to read. And then nobody say, I did try the crash idea, it worked. It means I must do it again. Okay, there's someone who's already tried the idea and work and they stop doing it. You see what I mean about focus? Entrepreneurs.
Consistency, eh?
Consistency is the biggest currency, yeah. Okay, and then say, Tennyson, I think one of the downfalls of failure to succeed, we grow it, we are desperate. Most of us are not in it in the long term, so we never get the opportunity to build the brand and the product. Oh, Tennyson, that is so true. You see, with what we're discussing with both, we are both helping her to position. That is why I said to her, she needs to go back and ask herself, where does she see her business? Mule said, today's session. Thank you. Boom. Okay, no guys, I think more focus, repeat, not doing it again or once off. Yes, repeat, 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 repeat. Repeat what works. That is why, guys, daily reflection is so important. Tabiso said, Tennyson, we also tend not to do our research and do due diligence. And that is, I have learned the hard way. That is so true. We don't take enough time to do a research, reflect. So like what we're doing now with, she's now gonna have different segment of the customers in different way, which then helps her to see how she can market better. Okay, yeah, absolutely, Tabi. So let's connect. Okay, great. And then tennis, because we're hungry, desperate to go to the market. That is so true. But I think we rush to go and do than to think. One of the session I had with you guys, I asked you, when we were doing compliance, what do you get paid the most? Is it to do or is to think? What was your answer? Who can remember? Who can remember what was the answer?
To think.
Exactly. We're paid more to think. But we as entrepreneurs, we rush it, doing it, and we never get anywhere. We are paid the most to think. Take more time thinking and planning, and then do the stuff. So, because some of you said they overthink things, they talk themselves out of it. Okay, so I think one of the downfall, okay, so I've already read that. Okay. Oh, Shonipani says, the lady with the boutique idea, we need to team up. Please, general leather bag in your boutique might work. Great, absolutely. Again, but she needs to first figure out who's her target market, and the leather bags that you're doing, do they fit the target market? Indeed, but yeah, network them. Boy, do exchanging and guys exchanging. Okay, great. Okay, there's a hand. Tennyson, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think it's actually more of a direct question that, so in terms of the statement that I made, a lot of us who end up in entrepreneurship, it's either because we're forced by circumstances or by situations, or we thought it was this ideal thing. So the question I want to pose to you, but also to everyone, is what is the if the situation in our country was different, if our economy was highly employing people, what do we think would be the rate of entrepreneurs in this country?
Yeah, that's a philosophical question. I have no idea. I can't answer it. I don't think there's someone who can answer it. But what I want to say is that it doesn't matter how you came to entrepreneurship. The reasons, your why you are here should always be a driving force of you sticking with it. I think, yes, majority was because there was not enough employment. But I also say we do need entrepreneurship because we have so many problems as a country. It's only entrepreneurs that can come up with solutions that are cost efficient, that can deliver products and services. And that is why it's very important as entrepreneurs that when we are doing our situation analysis, we look at our local economies, we look at what's happening within our local municipality. What are the biggest pain? But based on what you specialize in your industry, and then say, what problems can I come? But also, guys, don't be afraid to go to a total different industry altogether. There's nothing wrong with you deciding, you know what, today I'm gonna go to this because that's the industry. I mean, I saw the other day this machine online that fixed potholes within like a blink. And I was like, and it fixed the pothole permanently. You'll never have a pothole again, kind of thing. The innovation that has come through, don't remember which website it was. So look at the local environment and say, what is the biggest pain, biggest problem that exists when maybe you can't find a patient or you can't find something that is tangible? Find something that irritates you, find something that make you upset and solve that problem. We have so many problems in our country that we are bound to actually come up with entrepreneurship, and it's only entrepreneurs that can come up with solutions that are efficient. The challenge also that we've had, we have entrepreneurs that do not have sufficient working capital or do not have sufficient capital to start the businesses. So the best way of starting is to start from something that you know, and then over time build. But if you have a good network, you can start with nothing then, because you have a good network. So sometimes we can start with just that, the network, a good network, and then start and build the business. But sometimes you may start with no network, you may start with no money. And when you have no money, no network, the best route is what? Professional services. What do I know that I can share with others whom can see a value in what I do? Can I do it the best I can, better than any other guy? And then from that, you can then buy yourself and build up in a way that then is balance sheet based, or you can have an exit strategy. When I've made this much amount of money, I will then do what? Start another business. That would be where I want to go. So, but make sure whatever that you are choosing is closer to where you want. So maybe you want to be a developer, property developer. Start being then an estate agent, right? Maybe then, because you are not doing something that is totally different. You getting in at a different side of the coin. So
the message, I think the message that for me and I think for others that we take out of today's session and all these other sessions is once you're here, once you're in it, commit to stay in it for a long haul.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And show up
Oh,
and
was-
whatever. But you here now. It doesn't help for you to keep on saying, "Ish, I wish I was." You're not. You are here. So wherever you are, make it work.
Yes, make it work. Almost like give yourself the same attitude when you had entered a career, where you say, I'm gonna be an accountant. Then be an accountant. For the rest of your life, you are being an accountant. And being an entrepreneur, that's exactly it. I build businesses, but I also understand yourself enough. There are people that are given a gift of ideas, but there are people who are executor of ideas. And there are people that are gonna build businesses and run multi-businesses, 6, 7 businesses at the time. So the understanding of self to then choose the right partnerships, then to choose the right business model. Also talk to the skill you have. Make it work. Make it work. And guys, making it work is gonna need you to be conscious. It's gonna need you to really understand that you will only master or you will only win your challenges by being conscious. How you begin to be conscious is daily reflect. 1, plan your days. On a Sunday, you plan your whole week. On a Monday, when you start, you already know what I'm gonna be doing. But every day you reflect. What did I learn? What can I do differently? That is being conscious. Seeing, oh, I didn't get the results I was looking. What can I learn from that mistake? I promise you, when you have that practice every day of your life, every week you then plan different, you then do things different. You then also are investing on yourself 1 hour a day, 1 hour a day. And I generally say to people, 1 hour a day for our education, which is such a crappy education, even 2 hours, I will go an extra hour because our education is such a crap education. Why? So that I can unlearn and then learn a new thing. But also don't overexhaust yourself. Just take one thing. Maybe you're not comfortable with marketing. Then learn marketing, just what marketing. There's so layers and different things within marketing that you can take. You can say, under marketing, I'll do digital, or maybe I'll take traditional, or maybe I'll take, so there's different layers within that. But just choose one thing, which is gonna build you up. It's gonna assist you to ask better questions, even when you bring someone on board. Because again, another thing that we do as entrepreneurs, we bring people on board when we have not asked the right questions. Remember, the quality of the questions also detect the quality of the people you're gonna bring on board to help you. I hope that helps. Stick with it. I said to someone, try something, try different things at least 10 times, because I know the success rate is 1:10. So try something so many times that you've already figured out the beginning and the end, and there's no more pieces of the information that is linking or that is dropping. You understand and know the ins and outs of it. And no one is gonna beat you from that. Even if that fails, it's fine, you will have given your best shot, but you'll be a person who's sharing the story on how badly you failed. So maybe it was not for you to learn from it, it was for you to share. That is why I don't look at my weaknesses or the mistakes I've made as a bad thing. I look at them as a good thing. They give me an opportunity to share those mistakes, because some lessons were not for me, but they were for me to share. Some were for me. So yeah, stick with it till the end, make it work. Tabisa said, will it be an idea to approach corporate to buy books to donate to non-fee paying schools CSI budget. Absolutely, Tabisa, that is possible. But there is distribution companies that are publishers that do that for a living. So she will need to figure out. Maybe she will need to consider listing their book as one of the books within as a subscription in one of the subjects. So that will also help. But guys, I've tried some of those things. They take forever. So, but that is definitely potential. Okay, guys, we have overrun the time. Denise is probably not happy with me. But
You're good. You're good. Yeah.
An idea for those that are in the street lights. I don't know, electrical people, street lights and robots. There's chaos everywhere. Cables being stolen. Isn't there an innovation that can, you know?
absolutely. Oh, that's gonna shock the heck out of them.
We need an innovation there. I always constantly think about it, but I'm thinking I know nothing about electronics. So.
Guys, there is so much innovation. Just start listing all the things that actually irritate the heck out of you. Just start listing those things, because the things that move our emotions, those are the things that you are passionate about. Those are the things we're passionate about. So, and not just rely on your skill, but ask yourself, how can this skill I have can serve the community that I'm in, can help the community that I'm in? So it's almost like I've been working on my career guidance stuff and trying to figure out how I'm gonna position myself and what I do in the next 5-10 years. And I think what was very clear to me is that any goal that we set just for ourselves is not good enough. I've shared this with you guys. But when the goal is big enough, even to take the whole community with you on a journey, you see, now you're no longer alone. So really figure out how to build up a tribe that is going to be in support of you, that's going to grow you, that's going to work with you. So really think about that very hard, because it's tough to be alone. It's tough to actually stick with it even when it's hard. The only way you will make it is by having resilience, be someone who's willing to learn, who's also willing to unlearn, and also meaning you're gonna learn from your mistakes and other people's mistakes. And also keep trying and never give up no matter what. Just keep trying, just keep trying. I mean, there is so much that our country can offer. There is so much that we can do, but we are not offering product that our market or our people need. You know, we're offering products and services that our customers do not need. We have to really start analyzing and looking. I mean, I was looking at shoes the other day. Iy'cathulo zabantwana zesikole, yo ziyaguga, my kids, and shoes. I buy an average of 3 pairs a year for my kids. Even if I buy 100% lead, mabengakiphanga lokho okufasiwe, it's something else. I mean, why should I actually spend 3 times for the shoes? I should buy shoes just once a year. Why can't someone really look at that and innovate on that, you know? School bags, again, school bags. Why can't someone come up with school bags that do not tear off, that are just strong, but a school bag that can cater even to have a laptop in? We know the kids throw these things out like that with the iPad safety in. I mean, in another shop, I spent close to 500 Rand on a school bag. But because inside the school bag, it has a cushion, it also had waterproof, but you can log in the laptop within the bag. So even if we throw a shile bag, the laptop will not break because you just have to, you lock it inside. So I was like saying, but 500 Rand is such a costly, but you see, it's costly because it comes up with a solution based on the problem we have. So we have to come up with, the price is not the problem. And I think as entrepreneurs, our fallback will always go on reducing the price. No, it's not the problem. What is the problem is the innovation. What's the problem is coming up with a solution which is different than from what is in the market. I also say to entrepreneurs, sometimes we laugh and look at what's happening in Devon, or in the beach, or in any tourist area, even in, I think, even in Mpumalanga, Gold's Window, for example. The queue or where they are selling, they're all selling the same thing. They're in the Devon Beach, on the way, on the market there, they're selling the same stuff. We also do the same thing. So the hawkers are doing the same, we also do the same thing. We have to think very hard. What can I offer that is not, or maybe that is difficult to me, right? So just think about that. And you know, I can talk forever because I'm passionate about this. My heart just, I mean, the other day I was driving from KZN on entry. I see this lady who's selling, I think they're selling drinks, you know, the drink, energy drink. But this energy drink, she's just on the road. I'm like, who told her to sell that? Who said that would be a good idea? When 1 kilometer down the line, there's a service station. So, but if she had thought about it, maybe she could have sold umbil, sell the stuff that is not being sold down the road, kind of thing. Anyway, there's so many things that I see like that. Who told them to do that? But yeah, guys, thank you so much. God bless. We will meet. Denise, when is the next session?
Oh, day 2 is tomorrow evening.
Tomorrow evening. Guys, please send through your questions. Let's discuss further. Let's also make sure you share some of the issues. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. I know I took so forever. Oh, Lord.